KPRC 2 News begins right now with breaking news.
It doesn't count if you can't see him.
Okay. Good morning. We are coming back on with an update on this down power line that's causing traffic delays. This is in the area of Southwest Freeway and Newcastle. You can see a large presence of emergency responders on the feeder road. This is just off the Southwest Freeway in Newcastle. We saw backups earlier this morning. It appears to be moving now. Traffic along the Southwest Freeway appears to be moving. This is a live look of the scene from Sky 2. Crews are out there on the scene. It appears they're actually out at several different areas along the highway. We saw just moments ago, crews were setting up cones on the Wesleyan exit. So if you are heading into the West U area, you're going to have to look for an alternate route because that exit appears to be closed at this point. But if you are just joining us, we do have an update for you. We're continuing to follow this breaking news that we first brought to you at around 8:50 this morning. So more than 40 minutes later, crews are still out there because of this downed power line. We're going to bring Justina Latimer into this conversation to see what she's seeing out there on the roads this morning. I know, Justina, this is impacting a lot of folks this morning trying to get to and from work. It's really tough for me to see, and I don't know if you can see, Justina, what it is. Oh, maybe crews are cleaning up debris in that roadway. That's a shadow on the ground. I wasn't sure what that was that we were just looking at. But what are you seeing on your end, Justina?
Hey there. So from my end, I'm still working on getting on this mic, but I got you, Zach. So we are taking a live look at the Southwest Freeway just at Buffalo Speedway. So this is right after that accident. If you're heading through, even to the right of the screen, you can see that police activity, but it looks like traffic actually on the South Freeway isn't doing too bad this morning. And taking a look at the map, so we still see that shutdown moving about 0 miles per hour, but in other areas we are moving. It's southbound just at Newcastle Drive. Multiple vehicles were involved. It looks like at least 5 of them in that area were involved. And then it's at that exit on Westland. We know that that's closed. You can take West U if you like, but of course it seems like that accident is mainly in that feeder lane. So if you're heading out, of course you just have to proceed with caution and try to use apps like our app, of course, and apps that will get you around that accident if you do head in that area, because it looks like, if we're looking at Chopper right now, Skycam 2, that accident is just off of that feeder lane, and we saw earlier some power lines that were down. So you have to this is one of those days where you really have to proceed with caution.
And I know this morning too, around the time we broke into programming with this breaking news event, it was really at that point, Justina, impacting traffic. That was during the prime time of folks' morning commute. And so now, 45 minutes later, we're still dealing with some residual impacts in that area.
Yeah, that's right. Even if I take a look back at the traffic map this morning and take a look at the road, so this area earlier were just bumper to bumper delays. Traffic was at a complete standstill, and at least right now they are seeing some relief in some areas. But if you're closer to where that accident is, exactly where it is, you're going to see that shut down at 0 miles per hour. We usually never see that purple on the map, but we are now seeing that. And as you can see, we have first responder crews on site. We have a few guys, out and about kind of working that scene. So that area just completely shut down. It's just one of those days where if you haven't planned ahead, you are going to be sitting.
I know, and if people are watching us right now, or at least listening to us, they're going to want to take alternate routes. Do we have any maps made, Justina, that could show folks how to navigate this mess out there right now?
Yeah, well, I'm still working on alternate routes, but what I can tell you is that if you decide to head out that way, you can, I know that Westland is closed, so you can use an alternate like West U. That's probably a good one if you do decide to head out. Otherwise, it's just stay on those apps and try to use those side streets to really get around that feeder lane.
Yeah, according to authorities, this is all because of downed power lines causing traffic delays at Southwest Freeway in Newcastle. If you're looking at your screen right now, you will see a large presence of emergency responders just off the freeway, beneath the freeway on the feeder road. It appears there has been some sort of incident in that area that could have caused these power lines to come crashing down, and we know that it really is impacting people's morning commute on this Thursday morning. This initially happened not too long before 9 o'clock. We broke into programming with this breaking news event at around 8:50, and that is when we began seeing those drive times really slow down and become stalled in some spots. I know we're getting a lot of calls in to the newsroom about what's happening. This is what's happening. You're taking a live look from Sky 2 of the situation that's just beneath the Southwest Freeway. Justina, are we seeing improvements in those drive times, 40 minutes, 45 minutes after the fact?
Yeah, if I skip along to our drive times this morning, usually, so around this hour, we know traffic is always really picking up, and we're seeing those bumper to bumper delays and then some easing towards 10 o'clock. But it looks like your drive times are pretty typical right now. So like coming in from Sugar Land, you're looking at about 37 minutes, but you're gonna see that slow drive time as you're coming back out from the city. So just slow right now, and I'm guessing as the morning goes on and they work to clear that, hopefully it's some of the slowdowns are alleviated, but even going back out to the chopper, you could see multiple vehicles were involved in this accident. I know when they panned off of the fire trucks, we even saw, there we go, we saw some of those vehicles just off to the side. The airbags were deployed. I counted at least 3 vehicles under that bridge, and apparently there's supposed to be at least 5 involved. So it's just going to take some time for them to clear this, especially when power lines are involved. It can get pretty tricky. So just trying to keep it safe. And as you can see, the freeway itself is moving, but if you're traveling on that exit ramp there, that's where the problem is going to be. And
that is welcoming news to see traffic along the freeway moving. I know earlier that was not the case. You can see, though, right there the impact that it is having on those southbound lanes. Traffic is certainly building as people are making their way south on 59, but you know, the good news now is it appears to be moving. We do know, though, we saw crews setting up cones at the Wesleyan exit. So if you are hoping to get off there, you're going to have to come up with another plan, because you're not going to be allowed to do so. These are the drive times. And Justina, I know you pointed out just minutes ago, it's not every day you see that purple on the map.
Yeah, not every day at all. That purple is, it's fair. I wouldn't say new, but it's different, because we always see the reds and the yellow indicating slowdowns or bumper to bumper delays when we have a typical accident, right? Like 2 vehicle accidents or just on the freeway. But that purple indicates that it's just completely shut down in the area, and you see that 0 miles per hour, just not moving, all lanes blocked. And it makes sense, especially when you have power lines down. It can get pretty tricky.
Yeah, and I know I'm talking as you're talking, Justina. I'm getting an update from our producers. They're talking to the desk to see about what more information they can gather from what's happening here. But again, if you are just tuning in, we are following updates regarding these downed power lines that shut down 69, the Southwest Freeway at Newcastle for several minutes this morning, really impacting people's Thursday morning commute. Police have not said why the power lines are down in the area, but we can see from Sky 2 there appears to be heavy damage to vehicles in that area. We can see crews sweeping up debris in the roads just beneath the highway there. Again, the good news at 9:41, almost an hour after the initial call came in, traffic does appear to be moving along the Southwest Freeway. So that is really great news. But if you are trying to navigate through that area, you're going to have to come up with an alternate route, and certainly be patient on the roads as folks try to allow traffic to move on by. Any improvements, Justina, since we've been on the air?
No, I wouldn't say. I would just say the biggest improvement is the interstate, right? Because we saw those major bumper delays earlier, and a lot of those areas that I'm checking back on with the traffic cameras, they're now moving. So that is the biggest improvement, is just the major interstate there, and then just kind of seeing these guys out and about right now working that scene as they're out there. You even see some cars kind of going by around that turnaround lane, but you know, while they're out there, you just want to proceed with caution and to try to take the part of the interstate that is not completely shut down. And you see traffic's moving, so this is good news, especially those who are traveling in that area on the Southwest Freeway. It looks a lot better than what we initially saw about 30 minutes ago. Yeah, 30 minutes ago, it was at a standstill. You know, some folks were reporting 1 miles per hour, you know, sitting on 69. Police, again, have not said why the power lines are down in that area, but we are continuing to follow this developing story, and we will bring you the latest on air and online at clicktohouston.com. But from what we can tell from Sky 2 right now, traffic does appear to be moving once again on 59. Crews remain on the scene just beneath that highway. And as we know, this happened during prime time
Thursday morning commute, folks trying to go into work. Thankfully, the weather is nice today, so we're not having to deal with any impact on traffic from the weather, but this certainly did stall the morning commute for thousands of people. We know, Justina, that this is a main artery for folks in the Houston area.
Oh yeah, so even for me, my commute, I was saying, you know, I'm going to be stuck because we saw that closure, those bumper to bumper delays, but it looks like I said, these crews are working, and it looks like people on the highway are at least able to get by. But if you're taking that side road, that feeder lane, that's going to be that main issue there. So of course, it looks like we're actually looking at a fire truck kind of drive off there. I'm not sure if this is if they're going to stay on scene or if they're heading out, but we are looking at some movement there, and we do see that vehicle, multiple vehicles that were impacted underneath that bridge there, just still in that area. So down power lines, first responders, people walking around, just be cautious in that area.
And we, of course, will continue to follow this developing story and bring you the very latest on air and online at clicktohouston.com. We'll see you back here at 11.